Hi Curious, and welcome back. The Britney Spears conservatorship case is not slowing down, but finally after a dozen years since the star was stripped of almost all of her rights to decide about herself and her assets, things have started to look different. And today, Brit is fighting for her freedom, and the best lawyer in Hollywood will help her. The pop princess speaks out more and more boldly on social media, and not long ago, she took a rather aggressive jab at her loved ones, especially her younger sister. Although it seems like they had a good relationship and the elder Spears could count on Jamie Lynn, from Brit's words, that's not the case at all. And what did she confess, and what does she resent about her? Did Jamie Lynn only fiend for her support for Brit when the cameras were on? And how are her own professional issues? While some say she was jealous of Brit's career and wanted to be in her shoes, others say that she too may be the victim of a machine that has been driven by the Spears' name. And what are the sisterly issues, and what has Jamie Lynn's life been like in the shadow of the great Britney? Stay tuned until the very end, but before, don't forget to give us a thumbs up, turn on the notifications, and subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss any of our future videos. Jamie Lynn Spears is 10 years younger than her famous sister. She's a non-professional actress, singer, and a celebrity who has a circle of supporters and her own successes, although not so spectacular that the world heard about her, but we will tell you more about that in a moment. It is worth noting, however, that millions of Britney's fans, and even those completely outsiders, for years have been of the opinion that Jamie Lynn would have not have made it if it wasn't for her sister, called the Princess of Pop. But we will get into that in just a moment. Britney, who was born on December 2nd of 1981 in the state of Mississippi, turned out to be an over-the-top golden child. She was put on the stage as a little girl. And even though she has been struggling with problems, and above all, the conservatorship imposed on her for a dozen years now, due to which her professional affairs suffered a lot and later came to a standstill, she is invariably considered a pop culture icon of the late 20th century. She is also considered one of the most important people who define the millennial generation. And we can't tell you everything because in today's episode, we're going to focus on Jamie Lynn, her own accomplishments, and sisterly relationships. But it's worth mentioning at least a few important facts. After the release of Britney's first two studio albums, Baby One More Time in 1999 and Oops, I Did It Again in 2000, her star shone on a huge scale, and the young artist became a true phenomenon and began to break all kinds of records. Among other things, she was entered into the Guinness Book of World Records as the teenage artist with the most albums and singles sold in history, and over the course of her artistic career, she has been awarded a difficult-to-count number of times, and it is estimated that Brit has over 700 nominations for various awards, of which over 370 statuettes have come her way. And despite the fact that the now 39-year-old Brit hasn't recorded any new music for years now, she is constantly ranked as one of the best-selling female artists in the whole world. I don't think we need to say more, do we? And it is worth adding that the repeated comments under her performances available in the net say, among other things, that here we quote one of them, "New generations never understand how big Britney Spears was for people born in the late 80s and early 90s. Today, probably everyone knows, or at least has heard, that Brit is a star who suffered a nervous breakdown as a result of which her sons went to live with their dad and the ex-husband of the singer, and a paternal conservatorship was imposed on her. The solution, which was at the time supposed to be temporary and in supposedly good interest of the artist, became a several-year deprivation of the adult Britney of almost all of her rights to decide about herself and upon her own powerful property. For years, fans believed that things were going wrong in Spears' life, which is ruled by her father and the people he hires, and their beliefs began to grow in strength to the point that a loud #FreeBritney movement was created, which was later supported by other famous stars. But about the whole situation in the past or the conservatorship rules, we don't want to repeat ourselves because we have covered this topic more than once. So if you'd like to catch up and learn more, we recommend our playlist dedicated to her, to which the link is being displayed on your screen now. Many have wondered aloud, over this long period of time, where the star's other loved ones are in all of this, especially her mother Lynn Spears and her younger sister Jamie Lynn, who could often be seen by her side during Britney's heyday. But when Brit's life began to crumble and a later conservatorship was placed on her, Jamie was about 16 years old, on the top of becoming a teenage mother. As this is rather easy to understand, she had no opportunity to help her sister at the time. And it is worth noting, however, that she has long since ceased to be a teenager, because today she's an adult, 30-year-old woman with her own commitments and family. However, for several years, she rather strongly avoided speaking publicly about Britney's private life and the situation that she was in, but there were exceptions, and it seemed that despite the generally difficult situation, the sisters' relationship was good, and even that in recent years, it was the younger one who looked after the older one. In September of last year, it was rumored that Jamie had been appointed as the trustee of Spears' financial affairs, and according to documents obtained by Entertainment Tonight, the star's sister was said to be responsible for transferring her assets to a trust that would benefit Britney's children in the event of the singer's death. The documents also revealed that she was appointed to her role back in 2018 and was appointed by their father and now former co-guardian Andrew Wallet. At the time, everyone talked to the news, and we told you that Jamie had also asked the court to authorize her to serve as counsel to create a blocked account where Britney's assets would be kept in the event of the singer's death, and Jamie Lynn would also be given access to them to ensure that everything pertaining to Britney's money would go to her two sons, now still minors, Sean and Jaden. At the time, many people wondered if this turn of events was a good thing for the singer. However, it seemed that the sisters had a good relationship, so a lot of people felt that something was starting to change for the better in Brit's bad situation for years. Of course, there were those who felt that the younger sister was benefiting financially from the situation of the older Spears that she was in. In an interview given that year, Jamie confessed that Brit spent a part of her quarantine with her and added that they have each other, and Jamie Lynn, who's almost 10 years younger, stressed that they can rely on each other, and this fact makes them both really lucky. However, as recently revealed, the situation apparently looks different in Brit's eyes, and the star does not consider her sister's actions and words to be sincere. The singer, known for hits such as Toxic, Womanizer, and Gimme More, has been fighting very fiercely for freedom and independence in recent months, and she finally managed to break her silence and win public testimony in court, which shocked the entertainment industry and millions of people around the world several weeks ago. Many shocking words came out of Brit's mouth, and she revealed, among other things, that she had been forced to take medications over the years that destroyed her health, and she accused her father of mentally abusing her, and by deciding all aspects of her life, including intimate matters, prohibiting her from starting a family, among other things. And she also added, for example, that the conservatorship bears the hallmarks of violence, and when she spoke of the exploitation of her person and the profiteering by those who have control over her, she likened her situation to slavery. And before the court, she also pointed out that no one close to her has helped her, and she wants to regain the right to decide on her property, to sue her family to make them pay for the harm done to her. And you can hear about that in our other episode titled Britney Spears, Her Words About the Conservatorship Chilled Everyone. After this testimony, things began to finally change for Brit, and several people in certain positions resigned, including an attorney who had been hired and imposed on her from above. Interestingly, her mother spoke up for the first time and even appeared in the court to allow her daughter to choose her own attorney. Eventually, the court granted the singer's request, and so after 13 years, the star got a free hand in this matter. And as it turned out, she did very well, choosing the best lawyer in Hollywood, who was an attorney to, among others, Sean Penn and Ben Affleck. And while the fight continued, hopes of freeing Brit from the guardianship have never been so high. And the 39-year-old has also broken her silence on social media and recently hit back at Jamie Lynn, among others. For example, as she confessed, she really disliked the fact that her younger sister sang her songs. There's a lot more to this story, and we'll tell you about it soon. As you can easily guess, Spears' younger sister has always lived in the shadow of the famous Britney, and when she was born in April of 1991, Brit was already a child star. The pop singer started taking dance lessons at the age of 3, and she also did artistic gymnastics and took singing lessons. Already in her preschool days, she won many state-level competitions in dance and talent shows. At the age of 8, she began to develop her career professionally, appearing on various stages, including in front of cameras on television. Not long after, she was cast in the Mickey Mouse Club alongside Christina Aguilera, Justin Timberlake, and Ryan Gosling, among others. And just a few years later, she conquered the international music scene. When it happened, Jamie Lynn wasn't even 10 years old, and she had become the little sister of the great Brit, whom the world was in awe of. And not knowing any other life and probably pushed towards the media world by her parents, she also went into the entertainment business herself. She made her acting debut on the show All That when she was about 10 years old, and she also had a small role alongside Britney in Crossroads. She appeared in a few commercials, appeared in several productions, including a lead role in the series Zoe 101, and she even won a few awards for her acting efforts. Jamie Lynn was the subject of considerable media attention and controversy in 2007 when she announced she was pregnant. She was 16 years old at the time, and in 2008 she gave birth to a daughter, Maddie Brianne Aldridge, and took a hiatus from her career as a young mom for several years. She returned in 2013, at which the time, in addition to returning to acting, she also got into music and released her debut country-style single, How Could I Want You More? And there was also a first music album and a few songs, but she never managed to break into the mainstream, and certainly not even the slightest to catch up with her sister's achievements. In March of 2014, Jamie Lynn married Jamie Winston, and in 2018, she became a mom for the second time, also of a baby girl when Ivy Joan Watson came into the world. The 30-year-old is doing well enough professionally to afford a pretty comfortable life, and she currently stars in the Netflix series Sweet Magnolias. Through her work as an actress, singer, and celebrity, she has amassed a fortune of about $6 million. While her sister, despite her suspended career, has over 32 million followers on her Instagram account, Jamie Lynn has managed to gain just over 2 million regular viewers. As any of Britney fans has probably noticed, the younger Spears has taken to singing her sister's hits many times in recent years, and she has done so during her own performances, but was also tempted to do so a few years ago at a public music event, which was an awards show. As a surprise, she appeared on stage while Brit sat in the audience. Jamie Lynn then gave a short speech where she said, among other things, that she loved her sister and that she was her friend and her hero. As it turns out, however, the freedom-fighting Britney actually has no allies among her family members. The only person close to her who supports her is her boyfriend, Sam Asghari, and in her perception, she could not count on her sister's help at all. After the star's court testimony, Jamie Lynn was massively attacked by internet users who accused her of not helping her sister and being passive in the face of what Britney is facing, and among other things, that she's benefiting financially from the situation. The 30-year-old then spoke out and began explaining why she remained silent for so long. She revealed that she hadn't spoken out before because she felt it would be inappropriate until her sister first dared to speak up for herself. And in a long speech, she added that she was proud of her and would always support her. She added that she made a very conscious choice to participate in her life only as a sister and her son's aunt. And she stressed that she cares about her happiness and also assured that she supported her long before the hashtag Free Britney was created. And when it comes to money, according to Jamie Lynn Spears, she's been earning her own for her bills on her own since she was like 10 years old. Sometime later, a post by clearly outraged Britney appeared on Instagram, and part of it read, and here we quote, "There's nothing worse than the people closest to you, to who you never showed up for you, post things in regard to your situation, whatever it may be, and speak righteously for support. There's nothing worse than that. How dare the people you love the most say anything at all? Did they even put a hand out there to lift me up at the time? How dare you make it public now, and now you care? And did you put a hand out when I was drowning? Again, no." Although the post was generic and cannot be attributed 100% to Jamie Lynn, in further words, Brit has already hit back at her personality. She also announced that as long as she's under the conservatorship of her father, she does not intend to perform on stage, and her fans must settle for amateur performances from the living room. And she added, and here we quote also an excerpt, which she said, "And no, I'm not gonna put on heavy makeup and try to go on stage again and be able to do the real deal with remixes of my songs for years and begging to put my new music into my new shows for my fans. So I quit. I don't like that my sisters showed up at an awards show and performed my songs to remixes." After Brit's post, millions of people rushed to see the video of Jamie Lynn's performance again, and they started pointing out that Britney's pretend happy smile was fake, and when she wasn't smiling, it was clear that she didn't like what was happening at all. Fans also picked up on the fact that as she walked on stage, she first hugged a few other people and finally walked over to her sister and just slightly touched her and brushed her cheek. A wave of negative comments started towards Jamie Lynn, and lots of people started claiming that she always envied Britney's career and wanted to be like her. Among the many thoughts of internet users, there were opinions about the younger sister's false support of Brit only in front of the cameras, under the public eye, and thus it seems that millions of fans of the pop princess turned away from Jamie Lynn. Interestingly, the spat between the sisters could be seen in another recent Britney post, when Jamie Lynn posted a selfie on her profile on Sunday in July, which she captioned with the words, "May the peace of the Lord be with you and your spirit." Brit, clearly taking a jab at her sister, recorded a mocking video of herself dancing to the tune of the song Bad Guy, which she captioned rather eloquently, "May the Lord wrap your mean ass up with joy today." And although the two changed the descriptions under the post after a few hours, internet users managed to take screenshots that quickly spread around the web. And as you can see, the relationship between the sisters is not as good as you might have previously thought. And from Britney's behavior, it seems that she has not at all received the sincere report from her sister that Jamie Lynn assured her of. So curious, are you following Britney Spears' situation? Do you think Jamie Lynn has always been jealous of her sister's career? Do you believe her words that she cares about Brit's happiness? Or do you think that she, in this story, who was also dragged into the world of show business with the patch of the younger sister of the famous Britney pinned on her at the start, is also somewhat of a victim? Let us know in the comments below, and as always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss any of our future videos. Until next time.